difficile is going to be?
5.
Pardon? Yeah?
Resistance.
Wasn't what was that's why I got a bit thrown by the fire, because it wasn't where my brain was. We were not on the same train track there, Josh. Right. This is one that's selected for by the use of antibiotics. So that's what's really key about Clostridium difficile, right? Antibiotic-associated gastrointestinal disease can range from self-limiting diarrhea to life-threatening pseudomembranous colitis. And what antibiotics were the 2 key ones that we mentioned? I know it's here somewhere. There you go. In bold again, look. So I've heard that. I want you to know that it's got 2 toxins. I'll put it in bold. Obviously, we know what we're going to do is stop giving them the antibiotic in the first place. The case report was fairly distinctive, right, in case of reminding you what not to do with a Clostridium difficile related dental infection with antibiotics. You don't need to go through that, right? We talked about the one before, I said I don't think I asked you about food transplants. Yeah, remember the case report. Key being C. diff highly associated with the use of antibiotics, particularly people, just remember what I put in bold. Because I tend to take my questions straight from sometimes, not always. Bit of a giveaway there. Right. So we've done C. difficile. C. tetani causes what's the most common form of tetanus? Okay, let's go with tetanus. Okay, so remember these are very oxygen sensitive. They don't grow very well in the lab because of it. You get like this film. Proteolytic, but don't ferment. So remember the 2 toxins. I want you to know what the 2 toxins are and what they do. How you get it? Obviously, most of the time we went right. There's a slide up in a minute that goes through common entry wounds for tetanus and rare entry wounds for tetanus. Know which are the common entry wounds for tetanus. And here you go. Cough. Put it in bold. And I obviously want you to be aware of the fact that this one is not a common entry wound for tetanus, but it is a potential rare entry wound. Incubation period, and then we start going through the different manifestations. Be aware of what the different manifestations are. Lots of the time self-explanatory. Local is going to be cutaneous and restricted to a localized site. Cephalatic, remember this is the variant of it that means it's near the actual head, which obviously increases the chances of mortality dramatically. Here, generalized tetanus, most common form, in bold. I've been really helpful with my bold this year. A lot of the stuff I want you to know, I have bolded for you. But again, don't rely on it. And then obviously tetanus neonatum. Remember, this is a major cause of infant mortality in developing countries. Diagnosis, mainly going to be clinical presentation. It has a very distinctive clinical presentation. You don't normally find the toxin or antibodies. You're going to surgically debride the wound, and then you've got this immunoglobulin, so basically you can give the patient pre-primed immune stuff that's going to be able to bind toxin and help it. So remember though, all these things that bind the toxins only bind unbound toxins. So where you've got toxins that have already bound to the neurons, you cannot do anything about those. And then we have these Curare-like drugs. No immunity results from a tetanus infection. So you have to get immunised with the tetanus toxoid, which is in the same immune strain. So know that there's a vaccination for tetanus. You all do because we all have to have it every 10 years. So toxins, I want you to know both the toxins and what they do. Most common manifestation of, and obviously be aware of what the other ones are, but know what the most common manifestation of and how to treat and prevent tetanus. Botulism, again, neurotoxin is the key thing here that you've got, spore forming. Difference between tetani's neurotoxin and botulism neurotoxin. What's the difference, Jonathan? What does tetani's do? One of them pretty much means you can't switch off, and one of them means you can't switch on. So which one can't you switch off? Tetanus. Botulism is the opposite. It leads to flaccid paralysis because it prevents the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. So know the different forms of botulism. I don't think I asked you the specifics of this, but just be aware that the botulism toxin is only produced by the Clostridium botulinum. So, most common cause of botulism is what? Tell me before we get to it. Before we get to it, I'm at foodborne right now. In the US. Thank you, infant botulism. Okay, so you've got foodborne here. Know the symptoms of foodborne botulism in terms of what it does. Obviously, you as dentists here, your patient's got a dry mouth because of the effects of the toxin. And then just progressive disease and the flaccid paralysis. So, wound botulism we talked about, and then most common form in US, infant. Also be aware of the fact you do get iatrogenic and adult intestinal toxemia. Who's fancying using a bit of Botox in their clinics? It's big money. It's even bigger money and you get sued. Just saying. If you want to mess about with botulism toxins, good luck. So basically how do we find it? There are different ways of finding it, but there's basically no single, I use basically too much there, sorry. There is no one test that's completely sensitive for botulism. So particularly with foodborne, look, a bit more reliable in serum, infant serum, but when it gets to foodborne botulism, not particularly sensitive. Here, contrast to tetanus. So obviously, you need to know the contrast to tetanus for yourself. You've got the toxin treatment. Again, only unbound toxin. And you might need breathing apparatus and things like that. I've got to be honest, I don't think there is actually a bioterrorism question. That I had one last year that was like, I listed 5 and you had to pick which ones for bioterrorism, and there were like 3 there. Don't think there's one there, but good idea to be aware of which ones are actually bioterrorism, potentially bioterrorism agents, particularly if they group A. And then we talked about the use of dentistry. So, the toxins, you should know which disease or what diseases the Clostridium cause, what toxins they have that's specific to them. In the case of something like tetanus or botulism, I want to know what that toxin actually does. What are the most common manifestations of each of those organisms? Are we happy with Clostridium? It's pretty straightforward, right? There's a lot of fold in there that helps you out. And even if I haven't folded it, if it happens to look something similar to I've folded before, you might want to pay attention to. I don't ask you about the other Clostridium, I just want you to know that they're there, and I don't ask you about the tumours.